Hey, what's going on? Ryan here with Intersection Records and talking about the Robert Glasper concert last night in St. Louis. A couple years ago, a venue, which is a chain, I guess, called the City Winery, opened up in the Foundry area of St. Louis. And I had never been there. It's a cool venue. It was packed last night. Robert Glasper with a quartet that featured Sahi Sundance on programming and some vocals. Bernice Travis on bass, who was seated in the middle, playing what looked to be a 5 or 6 string bass at a high level. And the drummer Justin Tyson, and of course Robert Glasper on multiple synths, and different piano sounds and synths and so forth, and vocals as well. He's still touring his Black Radio 3 record. I hadn't seen Robert since April of 2006, and remember being in an old theater with Vincente Archer and Damien, rounding out a just jazz trio. If I remember correctly, Robert was on piano, and still then taking some pop sensibilities into jazz. Last night was completely different than what I saw before, and I liked it a lot. This place was packed. This was a place where you can eat dinner, have drinks. It was packed. You're sitting at tables with other people. And it was an R&B show with hip-hop elements and some jazz. Most of the crowd was black, and that R&B element. I've done some research on Glasper. Evidently, he won a Grammy for Best R&B Album in 2012. He's worked with Kendrick Lamar, and the hip-hop elements are more in the music than ever, and that was on display last night. I loved last night. I loved the show. I loved seeing a packed house with everybody dressed up and having a good time. He was getting oohs and ahs from the ladies last night when he would do certain things musically and vocally. Again, the Sahi is bringing in elements of other people's voices. There were some female vocals coming from his programming. There was other male vocals coming from his programming. Obviously, there were sounds and different samples, I guess, which seemed to be organic samples, nothing outside of the realm of stuff that maybe Glasper helps produce or write. Bernice Travis on bass. I did a little bit of research on him. He played double bass stand-up when he was in school because the teacher recognized the talent. He then took that to another level. There was times during his solo last night where he was getting into classical territory and really things that I don't think you just learn on your own. Clearly probably can read music and compose himself. He was tremendous. Justin Tyson on drums just did just enough to make things groovy and work really well with Glasper and Travis. It was awesome. The first section of the show was a lot of vocals, and he is smart in the way that he brings in other elements of pop and some R&B stuff that I did not know, but it was getting lots of recognition from the crowd. Whereas later in the show, he did segments of Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and a slowed down version of Smells Like Teen Spirit, which also got great recognition from the crowd. Whereas in earlier parts of the show that were being recognized, I just didn't know that R&B, or maybe it was something off his album from 2012 that I didn't know. He did play Black Superhero, one of his songs off of the Black Radio 3 record, along with, like I said, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, which is on that record too. He has worked with Kendrick Lamar. He is one of the great piano players. Again, 17 years ago I saw him, and it's a whole different thing. He knows how to handle a crowd. He played a song called Never Too Late last night, which he said is a couple weeks old. That's the working title, I believe. He tried to say that he wrote it in St. Louis, but then he said, "Oh, I wrote it a couple weeks ago." But it's a better story if I wrote it, 3 hours ago, right? I enjoyed the show. I loved the City Winery. I feel like I have some catching up to do on Glasper's material because, again, he's no song in a row is the same, and some of the sounds he was getting from his keys and synths were just fabulous. And you got the sense that they were looking to each other to improvise on a nightly basis. It was kind of doing what they probably want to do and just having fun with it. And at some points he was able to just get up and walk around and look at Sundance and kind of contemplate what the next move is. It's got to be a pretty freeing and amazing place to be musically when you can kind of go in any direction you want because you're talented enough to do so, and you can read the room. They only played for about an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes. It's a setup where you play a 6:30 show and a 9 o'clock show, and they're doing 2 nights of that. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Check out my channel if you like it. Subscribe if you like it. Peace out. Catch you later. See you.